Welcome back to Gin Reviews of Middle Tennessee. Tonight's adventure is this little bastard right here, this tall bastard right here. It's Oxley Cold Distilled London Dry Gin, distilled at below freezing point. This is bottle number B42480 and recipe number 38. I'm glad it's there. It's a product of England and it's at a 47%, thank God. After the day I've had today, the higher, the better. Alright, so like I said, it's 47%. The region comes from Europe, United Kingdom. It doesn't say exactly where. I tried to pinpoint where it's at. It says product of England. The reason they do that, I think, a lot of times, is because of the London Dry, and then they could, people that really know or exactly know what contemporary or London Dry or New Age or Old Tom and all the other fun ones there, they don't understand that, so they see England on it and they go, oh, it's legit. Anyway, so this whole thing here is really cool. This cold distilled, we're going into the world of macerating, and what macerating means is to extract the essence out of something. You probably understand that with strawberries, when you macerate strawberries and sugar, and you get that nice syrup out of it. That's what maceration is. So the same thing is done here with gin. Here's what I got. Oxley Gin was among the first mainstream gin releases that was cold distilled, meaning that it is distilled at lower temperatures. While it's not the only cold distilled gin in town anymore, Oxley Gin still leads with it on its label. Oxley Cold Distilled London Dry Gin. But Oxley does differentiate itself with an incredibly low distillation temperature. They distill below the freezing point of water. Some distillers say that this reduces the risk of what some distillers refer to as cooking of the botanicals, which makes sense. Applying heat, as one does in cooking, does transfer flavor profile somewhat, but using a lower temperature vacuum distillation, still, Oxley manages to capture some of the fleeting aromas that normal distillation might lose. So this is just, it wants me to dive into this. But let's go over the botanicals, because there's 14 of them, which I love this. We're at aniseed, cassia, cocoa, or cocoa, coriander, grains of paradise, grapefruit, yes, juniper, of course, lemon, licorice, meadowsweet. Ooh, I just like the way that sounds. Nutmeg, orange, and vanilla. So there's a lot of, it's going to be citrusy, I could already tell, with all those citrus botanicals in there. And we do have a cork. Alright, let's open this up. There's too much going on here. Oh, Angie's here. She's patiently watching whatever I'm doing, which she loves, but she doesn't understand. Here's the bottle, by the way. Alright, so here we go with the pull. Any squeakage? No squeakage. Pop. Hey! That is a nice pop. That's a pop you want. That's when you get a tall bottle like this. You get that. Oh, let's get a better shot glass here. I got one right here. Because that one was not up to par. Alright. My first pull of this. Let's see where we're at here. Ooh. Wow. It smells very clean. It smells very Juniper forward, with citrus notes definitely in there. It's very bright. There's lots of juniper on the nose. There's nutty hints of the coriander, but there is no coriander. But there's like a phantom phantom coriander, but that's to be expected with a lot of gins because that usually is what is in the botanical list. Oh my god, it's so much. It's just so much going on here. The licorice, the grapefruit. It's very robust. It's very full. It's a full nose. Wow, what a traveler. It is so... It's taken a long time to process. I love this. Okay, so... It's definitely clean. It's very clean, and it's... The early palate, it's a bit assertive with the ABV, adding a strong, like, spirit edge of juniper and citrus early on, and then these two notes they dominate it. But then in the background, the licorice I'm picking up, and then there's the coriander, no, not the coriander, phantom coriander, but the cassia, the cinnamon-esque, and the wow, there's a lot. I mean, you know what? It's very, it's definitely a London Dry, 100% a London Dry, which is beautiful. And I probably would stack it up to something like this is like Tang 10 right here, because it's definitely a notch above what standard like Beefeater would be or standard Tang would be. And those two are like the tried and true London Dries, with Brokers coming in at a third, maybe almost in the same bracket there. Well, let's do our, tonight I'm going with the old Goblet of Destiny here. And, pardon my head, but I have a little bit of water in the cup because, you know, it takes a minute to do these. Plus all the hot lights. Alright. Well, here's my ice tonight. I love that. Alright, so we're gonna do with this guy here, because if you've been watching this, my reviews, you know I tend to pull a little bit stronger on the old gin than the tonic. So tonight I'm going to do about, where am I at? 2 ounces, so a double shot. Fever tree, don't fall on me. Alright, well, look at the way that sounds. The effervescence. You see the bubbles jumping out? I'm sure you can. Alright, well, let's do a little straightforward here. Man, that neat pull of this, it's one way to go for sure. Definitely good. I'd say it's not. I was expecting about the same as I would from a London Dry tonic, gin and tonic. Now, it definitely needs citrus to bring up those citrus botanicals. I'm going to do some lime. We're going to throw everything in tonight. Lemon. This beautiful orange. This navel orange. Look at that. Now, this came from Chile. And that's where most of our citrus is coming in from. I probably said this in a video before. South America right now is in their spring bloom. Oh, and tonight, you know what I decided to do? Just because I was in one of my favorite liquor stores and I overheard this conversation how one of the greatest liquor store owners that I know here in Middle Tennessee does not garnish his drinks at home, which I understand. I do. But I do. I like a garnish. Look at that. Oh, this oil's coming off. garnish makes everything just that much more fun. Hey man, I don't know. I don't know much, but I do know gin. Cheers, salute, huh? Okay, now, there it is. That's a G&T right there. This stuff is pretty good, I gotta say. I've only heard high remarks on Oxley here, so I wasn't expecting like anything below 10. I don't know. I don't know how to judge or where I'm at, but I would say this: if you're in the store and you are a gin enthusiast and you're looking to up your game with the London Dry, and you see this, the price tag on it's not totally cheap. I think on retail it goes for about 35 up to 40. It's worth it though. Get it. Definitely try it neat first. So you gotta have the enhancement of the cold distilled botanicals. I understand what they mean. They're cleaner. Damn, it's that good. All right, well, there. I'll end. Hey, yes, Ange is here. I'll end on this note from me to you to me, to everyone else here in Middle Tennessee. Enjoy Oxley. Find it, buy it, drink it, enjoy it, and have a good night.